Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Penguin Nonsense. I am your host, Edith, and thank you for being here another week. And I just want to apologize for not having an episode last week. We had a really busy week. My future sister-in-law, she had her quinceañera, and so it was on a Sunday, so it was a lot of doing a bunch of stuff that morning and then later that afternoon, and then the rest of the day just kind of got we were all just tired by the end of it. And I guess I should have recorded earlier and then maybe had it ready by Sunday, but then just everything was all kind of coming into place, and then it was a lot throughout last week, so I am sorry y'all didn't have an episode last week, but I thank y'all for still being here and growing with us. I think it's nice to have the community that we have, and I hope we keep growing. I know we've already started seeing some people starting to comment, so thank you for the ones who have started with me on this journey. Who knows if this will get too big? Who knows later on in the future? But I do plan to keep trying to be as consistent, and hopefully we'll get somewhere together. Who knows? So today we have 3 stories for y'all, as always. And sit back, relax, or drive wherever you may be going to. Today is Labor Day. Be safe out there. If you went somewhere, I hope it was great, because probably by the time you listen to this, you're probably already back. So I hope you had a good Labor Day. And I am being lazy. So if y'all look at my attire, it's a McDonald's shirt. I am just relaxing today. I just came from a hike, a very, very small hike. But overall, it was a hike. So I'm a little extra crusty, maybe. I don't know. But thank y'all for being here. And let's get to our stories today. So our first story is what's the word? I can't even think of the word. It's a story that we had already talked about before, and I'm just bringing y'all extra information of what has happened since we talked about that story. An update. That's what I don't know. That was just a simple word, and for some reason I could not think of it. Anyways, it's an update about a story we have already read. I don't know if y'all remember, a few episodes back we talked about that India has decided to send a third craft to the moon. Their first 2 had failed, and this was their third attempt to get one on the moon. And our story is just that. So, the Chandrayaan 3 spacecraft has finally landed on the moon, becoming only the 4th nation ever to accomplish such a feature. The mission could cement India's status as global superpower in space. Previously, only the United States, China, and former Soviet Union have completed soft landings on the lunar surface. Chandrayaan's 3 landing site is also closer to the moon's south pole than any other spacecraft in history has ventured. The South Pole region is considered an area of key scientific and strategic interest for spacefaring nations, as scientists believe the region to be home to water ice deposits. The water, frozen in shadowy craters, can be converted into rocket fuel or even drinking water for future crew missions. When I read that little part, I was amazed. Other articles have said that this is the first craft to get as close to the South Pole as they have gotten. So congratulations to India. I know that it's one of those places that you usually just recognize for their Bollywood movies and stuff like that. So I think that this whole space thing is really good for them, because they finally get into recognized for something than just Bollywood movies. And I hope that it gives people over there maybe a chance in their heart to dream bigger than what they're dreaming of. And I think that was one of the articles I read, because I read a few of them before choosing the one that I read. And I was reading how some people are like wanting to maybe now start going into space programs and stuff like that. So I think it's opening a lot of doors for them. And it just makes me really happy, because that should always be a thing for our future generations and stuff like that, to inspire them enough to want to do something bigger than they are, you know? I know there is a lot of theories about the moon. I don't know which all of them to believe, but I do know that it is crazy that it's out there. As a Christian, I believe that it was there because God made it, but I also like reading the theories of other people who have theories about the moon. There is a show me and Jose watch often called The Wild Files, and shout out to AJ and Hecklefish. They probably would never see this episode, but in case they ever do, those are our people. And they had a really, really cool video of where they talked about a theory on the moon and that kind of stuff. So I really like that whole theory thing. But there's plenty of other theories out there. So I think it's up to everybody to believe what they want to believe. If you think there is, the moon is hollow, or it's just a giant spaceship, or who knows, that is up to you. But I think the fact that India has made it up there, or at least says they have made it up there, is really great. So, congratulations, India. And I thought I'd bring y'all that little update, because I know we don't typically get like more stories on like resolutions and stuff for like different stories. And it's not because I don't want to give y'all resolutions, it's just that I just haven't seen any more updates on certain stories. So I think this one was really cool that we got to hear a little bit more of, see what was going on, and I am glad I was able to bring y'all that to y'all. So keep a lookout to see what happens with this new scientific approach. If they're able to collect these ice crystals, if they're able to convert it to fuel and all that kind of stuff, it's going to be interesting to see where this goes and where this leads. So stay on the lookout for that. And so here we go. On to our next story. Oh, before we go on to our next story, if you have any cool theories of the moon, drop them down in the comment box on our YouTube channel or social media. I don't know. I love to listen to them. So we will go on to our next story. The next one is from Am I the A-Hole Forum. It is titled, Am I the A-Hole for leaving only the house to one child? And it goes, my partner and I have 2 sons. The older is married and doesn't plan on having children. Your younger is also married, but with 2 young kids. In addition, the older lives, in the same state as us, while the younger is about 8 hours away. Both own their own homes already and are, for the most part, financially stable. Our house has been in the family for generations. It's on an estate with a few hundred acres of land, and the building itself is mostly unoriginal. A couple hundred years old, and admittedly does have its quirks, and the size of it makes its management a little difficult, but it's a wonderful home. Its most recent appraisal was a little bit over $3 million. A couple months ago, my younger son was visiting with his family. I mentioned how the house would be his one day. He winced a little, and I asked what was wrong. He hesitantly admitted that he doesn't want the house and anything to do with it. His family has no intention of moving back north, and if they did, it would be on the other side of the state. I'll admit I was disappointed to hear, since our intent was to split all the assets evenly, including the house, so that it would stay in the family and continue to be a meeting place. My spouse and I talked it through and decided to change our wills. The house would go entirely to my older son, and our other main assets, bank accounts, investments, would go to our younger. They can split the physical items between them. The house is worth more since the cash and investments are only around $2 million. We had a group call and brought up the new will. My oldest was upset, to say the least. He said he can't move to the house either since he and his wife both work in the other side of the state, a 5-hour drive, and love their jobs. They have pensions, career tracks, and don't plan on leaving. I said they could have someone maintain the house when they aren't using it, but he just got annoyed and said that it would be a massive drain on their finances, let alone property tax, and if anything breaks, it needs repair. I said he's being a brat since his brother lives farther and has a family to care for and the house doesn't work for him, and we want it to be fair. The call ended very tense. My younger is pleased with the outcome, but my older is obviously not. He later said he knows we favor his brother and will keep that in mind when elder care comes up, and he's the one nearby. This seems like a low blow, but I don't know if it is deserved. Am I the a-hole? So, that one was yikes. I wonder what y'all think. Do you think he was the a-hole or wasn't the a-hole? And Reddit did declare him as the a-hole. A lot of comments is like, you're the a-hole. The top comment was, you're the a-hole because you mentioned that the house can't be sold without losing most of its value. Therefore, the value of your bequest to your youngest is way more than your oldest. If the house can't be sold, then it's not worth anything but the structure. It's even less than that. It's a comment OP says that the city gets to buy it back for the value of the land, so the house and improvements wouldn't even be considered in the sale. So, essentially, this house is just worth, I guess, a little too much. And I do think that I'm a little torn between this because I feel like one of them, at least the kids, should consider maybe taking this house in because of the whole, it's a family home, it's a generational home, it has been passed down from person to person, kid to kid, whatever may be the situation. But I also feel like if it has been a generational house, what makes them to absolutely need to have it? Why can't they reach out to maybe aunts or uncles, whoever, their extended family, to see, hey, do y'all maybe want this house? I don't think it's, if the two boys don't want it, I don't think it should be put on them to absolutely have to take care of it. I feel like with the economy we live in right now, it is so hard to have a house now that it's such a reward to even be able to get a house for essentially free. But if you already have your life set, you already have your own house and you're financially stable and whatnot, adding something that you weren't ready to take on can have, drastic changes in your life and that kind of stuff. So I don't think that they should be forced to take on this house, and I think the parents are the a-holes for that because they're not even considering what it could potentially do to them. I feel like at this point, if you really wanted to stay in the family, you need to start looking and seeing if, unless whoever the house belongs to, what generation did come, maybe they don't have siblings. But if they do have siblings, I think it should be a thing of asking aunts and uncles if somebody wants it from the family so it stays in the family. But I do agree with the comments. I don't think it should be something that should now be a financial burden to them. And obviously the oldest thinks that they have a favoritism over the younger boy. So that I do agree that was a low blow. I do agree that the oldest one shouldn't have said that. Hey, whenever that time comes when we need to take care of you, then we'll keep in mind the younger one. I do think that was a low blow. Like, that's your parents. And I get it. I know sometimes we don't always have the best of relationships with our parents, but I feel like you could have gone a different way about it. If you really don't want the house, I feel like sit down, have a conversation with the parents, both like siblings, and like be like, look, I think it's better if we just sell the house and that kind of stuff. I know that like getting rid of a family home must be tough. But if really nobody wants to sit there and take care of it, then why bother to let it be someone's, I wouldn't say like make someone miserable. Like, instead of making them happy, it's making miserable. So why leave it to any of them, So it might as well just go to somebody who's actually going to appreciate it, whether it's the state or you decided to sell to somebody. I feel like it would be better. So that's just my 2 cents on it. Let me know in the comments if y'all think maybe the parents weren't the a-holes for leaving it to their kids. I do see the part of like being able to get a home essentially for free, but like taxes aren't cheap. And I have like read somewhere where like it's not just as easy as just, oh, now it's your house. I think there's like, if you didn't go through like certain things of like legal matters, like your kids could like end up having to pay more for that house than you ever did, tax wise and other stuff and whatnot. And there's like whole other fees for this. Then I think like you have to go through a different like legal route for them to like just have the house and not have to pay all those extra stuff that they do. So I think there's like a lot more to it, but they do sound like they're rich people to begin with, so they might have already found like whatever they had to find out to just make this transfer to this home. So I don't know. It's a rough situation. I mean, I would love to get a house handed, but no, that's not how that works. But I don't know. They're lucky, but at the same time, that's like a very first world problem, right? So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know what you are thinking. Was he the a-hole for leaving it to them? Was he not? For forcing it upon them? I don't know. You guys let me know. But I think it was a pretty a-hole-ish thing to do. On to our third story of today. This is one of those stories where like one man's trash is another man's treasure. I almost forgot how to say that saying. I do that all the time. And I thought it was really cool. So the title is A Thrift Store Shopper Joked She'd Found a Famous Artist Work for $4. And actually, she really had. A painting found in New Hampshire attic could fetch between $250,000 and $3 million after the owner had bought it at a thrift store for just $4. That's because it's a lost work by prolific Maine artist N.C. Wyeth, whose signature was on the painting itself, but which the buyer assumed was simply a forgery. The painting is in one of the 4 that Wyeth, patriarch of the Wyeth family of painters, completed for a 1939 edition of Helen Hunt's Jackson book, Ramona, originally published in 1884. According to Bonham Skinners, the auction house handling the sale, the woman unknowingly purchased the valuable work after finding it leaning against the wall in Savage thrift shop in Manchester. It was stacked alongside posters and prints, and she selected it only because she was looking for frames to reuse. After not being able to find any information on the work, the buyer hung it on her bedroom wall, but after a few years ended up stashing it in the attic. During some May cleaning, she came across the painting yet again, and this time posted pictures of it on a Facebook group dedicated to people finding things lost in walls, attics, dug up from the floorboards, or salvaged that abandoned house across the street from your parents' house. She connected with a former curator who had handled paintings from 3 generations of the With family and knew almost immediately the piece was legitimate. While it certainly had comes with some small scratches, it could use a surface clean, as it was in remarkable condition considering none of us have any idea of its journey over the last 80 years. Lewis told Boston Globe, who covered the story, the company that published Ramona is believed to have passed the work on to the editor or to the author's estate at some point, and only one other of the 4 paintings that were made has been found. Discovering less famous pieces so often, it's common from the news media perspective. In 2021, 7 masterpieces were found in various parts of the West. So, essentially, they said that they have found one other of the 4 paintings. So, if you have in your home any paintings that you think are like, this might be worth something, post it on one of those Facebook, like if those Facebook groups really be coming like in clutch or something, whatever people say nowadays. But I think that it doesn't hurt to try and ask, right? What store is it going to tell you? It's only worth $4. Okay, well, there's that. But you never know. You could become a millionaire overnight. Billionaire for all you know. So, don't give up thrifting. Go through the thrift shops. If something looks interesting, you never know. I like to watch a lot of those thrift videos where they're like, oh, I found this space that they're selling it for like $5, but in reality it's worth like 120 or something like that. Like, I know it's not a lot of money, but if you resell that for its price, you just got yourself like some good profit, you know? Like $120 for $5, you know? I don't know. I think it's a great idea. I obviously do not have the time to go and do it. I would love to, but I don't. But if you do, it's a great place to start. You never know what's out there. Like I said, one man's trash is another man's treasure, and it's the same for a reason, because you never know what you're going to find out there. So you might have the other 2 paintings that go to this painting. The link to the story is going to have a picture of it, but it essentially looks like this. And I don't know if the thing is going to pick it up, but if it doesn't, y'all be able to click the link. So it's like 2 ladies standing, and it's like a background. Looks kind of weird, but I don't know who wants to have that on their bedroom wall, but to each their own. What am I, an artist? I don't understand that. Says the girl who has a cat on her wall. He's cute though. He's from what is this called? The Screen? I think it's that famous painting. It goes like, that kind of one. But, and then I have the Starry Night over there, right over here, I think. I don't know if y'all be able to see it in the frame, but I love art when it's cute. I do like going to the art museum, so I don't know. But, yeah, I just thought that would be a good one to end the note with, you know, by letting y'all know that y'all need to be doing some research on the stuff y'all have around your house. Especially if it's like really old stuff, because this really old stuff, like, people at some point just kind of handed stuff over without realizing what they were worth to families and stuff. Especially like here around North Carolina, since we are like in the area where a lot of like the first colonies were set and that kind of stuff, like I feel like we have a higher chance of like having valuable stuff just because of our history and that kind of things. But it's just an idea. Just putting it out there. So I hope y'all get lucky over the week. I hope y'all become millionaires over the week. That would be cool. Sent me a few. No, I'm kidding. But that's it. That's it for today. It was nice, short, to the point. I told you I was gonna be lazy. I stuck to my word. But no, thank y'all for being here. I hope to see y'all next Monday again. And that is it. Goodbye, everybody. Follow us on our social medias. Bye. And cut.